In a world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence, there is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. I just noticed the date. Oh. It is January 28th, Saturday night, and Alea Dawn is back. Oh, my God. It's been forever since I talked to Alea Dawn. And she's the founder of the KERA Center. She's a fourth-generation professional certified medium, certified aura reader, dream coach, and a tutor. She studied many different modalities and had very many different mentors across the globe. And she's been reading, clearing energies, and teaching mediumship and spiritual development internationally since 2007. That's a long time ago. That's when the world was a kinder, gentler place. You can find it through KERA Center website at keracenter.com or through Facebook, facebook.com/medium Alea Dawn. And you can also join the KERA Center group. Just type in KERA Center in the KERA Center in the KERA Center in the Facebook search thingamajiggy. And so, welcome back, stranger.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you are well.
I am about as well as you can be. You know?
Good. Good.
I've been through it, or what I moved and done. I don't even want to know what the hell was all going on there. But can I ask you, hey, do you have a way on your KERA Center? Do you trust me, Alea Dawn?
Yes, of course.
Now that we're publicly, now you have no way but to say, yes, of course I trust you, Chris.
No, I do. I absolutely do.
Like, is there any way that you have to approve me as a poster on your group without having to have approved, like, wait until someone approves it?
Yes, there is. I have to go in and figure it out. Yes, there is.
Busy woman. I know you're a busy woman. You know what I mean? So don't rush. I'm not in the priority, but that would be nice, just in case people aren't around.
Absolutely.
To approve it or something like that. So what in the heck? How was your New Year's and Christmas? And
oh my gosh! So
and Halloween, and what you had since I talked.
We have been through quite a journey, Chris. You know, it was towards the end of the year. It was like I had so much overworked myself. I had so massively overworked myself that I was falling into patterns of real extreme exhaustion. And about the middle of December, we were living in another place. We had moved in May. And we liked it there, but it was so far away from everything. And so we were trying to get back to where I live on Oak Island in North Carolina. And about 2 weeks before Christmas, my boyfriend's boss bought a house and said, if you want it, you got to come get it now. And so 2 weeks before Christmas, we had to pack up one house and move into another house. And the house needed to be cleared and cleaned and all that stuff. So over the holidays, because of the holidays and because of all the rigmarole, we couldn't get, services like internet and all that stuff moved. And I actually was offline for about 3 weeks.
That's
and it literally planted me on my ass, and I needed it. I at first, I sort of bucked it, and then about a week into it, 2 weeks into it, it was like, oh, I can breathe. I'm breathing. I'm breathing, and it gave me the clarity that I needed, and to sort of see things differently and see the way I was moving differently and put things in perspective in the right place. And so it was actually kind of good. I was disconnected from the whole world, and it was kind of nice. To be honest with you, for a little while, I sort of wanted to get back. I wanted to get back, and it was important for me to get back. But it was sort of nice to have that break. I think I really needed it. So here I am. I'm back.
I was away for a few days in a row without internet and that was the longest in ever could ever remember, and it was actually kind of nice, And,
it is, yeah. It is kind of nice to unplug.
Well, there is, and it's plus, mind you, these days, I don't pay attention to anything. I don't look at Facebook. I don't even look at my own damn Facebook. Half the time I'm a week, 2 weeks late getting to something that someone posted or something. And even when it's the show, I'm not posting it on my page. I'm posting it from an app that Intuitor uses for posting, And so I don't even get onto my own page and so because you know what, I just don't want to know some of the shit that the people I know write. And
right.
You know what I mean? And I spent particularly over this whole crappy election situation. I don't want to see any of it. I don't want to see any of it. And so, I kind of and I don't go to BTR no more, hanging around in chat rooms all day. And getting into all the dramas and all that kind of stuff. I can find enough of my own drama on my own damn.
Right? For sure.
Else, right? And so there you go. So you're relocated and ready to get back at it, or?
Yeah, I've been steadily busy since I've been back, but it's been the kind of busy that I can handle, because it took me some. Like I said, I had to get some clarity and some perspective and put things in order in the right way, and it gave me the time I needed to do that. And I sort of overwhelmed myself with it, and I sort of became disconnected from it. So I needed to reconnect again. I needed to recharge, and so I've been busy, but at the same time, it's been a nice kind of busy. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's been a nice kind of busy. It's been productive, and so I'm happy.
Well, and if you're feeling better in your new location, that'll make all the difference in the world too, eh?
It makes a huge difference. The energy is completely different here. So yeah, we're really happy with the move that we made. I mean, it was sudden and it was unplanned, but at the same time, it was probably the best thing that we could have done overall. So, I mean, things are moving in a positive direction, and that's the best part about it,
Well, that's the thing, though. It's you can't miss those, those boats that come by, if you will, hey?
Exactly.
And sometimes it means a flurry of unexpected, unscheduled things that have to get done suddenly. But in the long run, if you miss that boat, you'd be kicking yourself in the ass for it, right?
Yes. And I was living myself to a calendar, Chris. I mean, I had a calendar where every half hour of my day was calendared out. And so when it happened, it was like, But now I'm not living on a calendar anymore, and that's the important thing. I don't want to live by a calendar no more. Not like that anyway. So.
That's good. So what's going on at KERA Center in the next
all kinds of good stuff. I mean, we had polled the group and some of the students back in around September and October. And there's, the big thing about the self-study classes going on and things like that. And so what we were finding is that a lot of students weren't able to take certain classes because of certain times, and then classes would get pushed off because of teacher schedules. And so we had talked to the students about doing a self-study option. And they all went for it. Everyone was really excited about doing self-study. So we are in the process of, like, all of our courses are coming into a self-study module with mentorship so that we can still connect with our students, because that's really important to us. But for the most part, we're not having somebody sitting down at Tuesday at 7:30, after dinner, or in their busy schedules. They can actually take the classes on their own time and then schedule a mentorship session or schedule a class session. And so it's working out really good. We don't have all the classes up, of course, because it happened over the holidays and I was gone, but we are steadily moving in the direction of getting our classes up on self-study. So that is going to be a wonderful option for the students and for the tutors. I'm excited about that. So,
well, listen, I'm thinking, because, I have, some, especially in any month where there's five of one particular day, or worse, 5 of more than one day. Like this month, I have a lot of empty spots, because most of my guests are either, every once a month or every 2 weeks, and what, instead of being like every 2 weeks, it's like first and third or second and fourth. So the fifth, if there happens to be a fifth that month, then I've got, and maybe you guys want to all talk to each other, and maybe once a month or whatever works, we could open up an empty spot and just be KERA Center. I don't care who it is, what it is, or whatever. I can open the show and they can just run it. You know what I mean? Like, I can open it and they can come talk about whatever they want. It doesn't have to be readings. It could be whatever. It could be a couple of them come and have a discussion about a particular thing, whatever. You know what I mean?
That would be really cool. Yes.
So.
I'll talk to the tutors and grads about that, because I know that I know the grads are looking for more development opportunities, and I think radio show is probably one of the best things that they could do, and at the same time, we're always looking for modules where we can sort of talk about what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so I'll get with everybody and talk to them about it. Absolutely.
A lot of development, can also take place by not just giving readings, right, but just by engaging in discussion. Metaphysical.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
But it would be it would be like, I would open the thing, I would start, and then they're like the guest hosts or something for that.
That'd be fun. I'll open that up. I'll open up with the tutors and we'll get with you and talk to you about it. I think that would be a lot of fun. Yep.
Sure.
Thank you.
No, it's like I said, like people. It's like better than either not having a show that night, or, you know what I mean, or doing something stupid. And so it's always a favor to me whenever people give me their time to come on. I do that as a favor to me. So so that's good. So when's the full moon, you guys? When's the full? You should know, Alea.
I think we just passed the full moon. I'm
a 3-day shot, or because it's Chinese New Year, right? Because they always schedule Chinese New Year with the full moon, the lunar.
I thought Chinese New Year. Well, this confused me, because I think Chinese New Year is today.
Right, like it's yesterday or today or something. So
but it's definitely not a full moon. If anything, I think we're moving into a new moon period.
No.
No. Yeah. I'm actually outside and I'm looking.
A new moon. Is it a new moon?
No, it's a new moon. Yeah.
My bad.
It's when it's black. The sky is black. Yeah.
Yeah. New moon, or because it's an abundance check time. That's all I'm trying to.
Today, actually, this is a great time for, like, if you're wanting to do like manifestations and things like that, and like planting. It's like new birth. So a new moon is like new birth. So you could we plant the seeds of the things that we want, your desires and things like that. That's always best to do over a new moon, and allow it to come through to the full moon. We actually did this little workshop in the KERA Center It was manifesting by the moon phases. And one of the girls actually, she told me not to say her name yet because she's waiting on her check. But through the full moon phases, she did all the rituals, and she actually was granted $250,000 after doing them. But she's waiting on her check yet, so she's like, I don't say anything because I'm still waiting on the check. But I was told that I had it.
I wouldn't say her name anyway because she'll have everyone all over her.
Right.
I would advise her to say nothing. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, because people will have their hand out for sure.
Well, not only that, but then they get all judgmental, like, like people get it in their mind. Like, I worked at a psych hospital, and one of my vice president at the time, when I was the president of the local, he won $5.6 million.
Wow.
And people around were, first of all, driving me crazy because they're all like, "Oh, you have it made now, Chris." I'm like, "Oh, what in the hell are you talking about?" I says, like, the guy has a family, kids, everything like this. He can't give $1 million to everybody he knows. He only got $5 million, And so nobody should have any expectation of anything. And I saw people. One guy started to get all disgruntled and bad-mouthing the guy. So, I gave him used clothes for his little boy, and he didn't give me nothing. You know what I mean? And if you're giving stuff, you shouldn't ever be giving stuff with an expectation of
that you're going to get it back. Yeah.
And because if you're that's not doing it for pure of heart, And so
people get so crazy when money's involved. It's so sad.
The psychology of it was fascinating. And what I really loved was that the hospital itself, we were subcontractors. Our employer was a food contractor. And they had, all of a sudden, the hospital had decided that, because this contractor we worked for had the contract for like 20 years at that hospital. And so it started to just become, a given that, we were there. And all of a sudden the hospital realized, if we get a new contractor in here, their collective agreement those workers have is gone. The new employer will be able to pay minimum wage, and they won't have to pay 5 weeks holidays to and they might not even have to hire the people anyway. And so the hospital went through this process, and we were in the middle of negotiating our first collective agreement. Not in the middle. We were about to start our first session of bargaining with this new employer. And it was like that we were going to have our first session of negotiations with them on the Monday. On the Saturday, and this guy calls me and says, Chris, I'm not going to be able to make it for bargaining. He called me Sunday. I'm not going to be able to make it for bargaining tomorrow, and I can't tell you why, but I'll get back in touch with you, And so I'm like, don't worry about it. Whatever it is more important than here. So you make as long as it's okay, that's okay with me, And so anyway, after the news came out that he won all this money, the hospital sent their freaking fundraiser person over to our food services department, and everybody referred her to me because, I was like friends with him, and furthermore, my vice president. I told him I wonder what he thinks of the hospital. I said, he thinks you suck because of what you did to all of us through this tendering process. I wouldn't hold my breath for 1 red cent from him, quite frankly. But thanks for asking. I'll pass it along to him, okay? It felt good to say that to them.
Wow.
See
I bet it did.
Goes around, comes around. And they might have gotten a healthy chunk of money out of him but for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But the psychology of it, the people, they go crazy, and you couldn't go, like it was a year probably, and you couldn't even go a day without someone saying lottery. And oh my God, it was just awful. So tell the person not to say a damn thing, because
I will.
Some people will be all, I need help, and they didn't do nothing, and you know what I mean.
Yes, I do. I totally do. Yes, absolutely.
Nice for her. Was that like an inheritance or a lottery win or what?
I don't know. I think she had been waiting. I think it's something to do with a contract that came through. I'm not quite sure of all the details, but I think it's something that she had been waiting for a long time or didn't think she was going to get, and then she did these rituals all through the month, and then it was granted, like, in her favor. From the way I don't know the whole story. But what I'm gathering, yeah.
Doesn't matter. That's good. What a great for her. I like those kind of stories.
Yes.
Life-changing. It can be life-changing.
For her.
And you know what? The one thing I have all the respect in the world for my friend, probably a year later or something, I went and visited him and his wife. They had to British Columbia, and what was so amazing, other than the fact that we could go to he would go to the grocery store and get the butcher to specifically butcher him steaks of his own specification. He was a cook. He was a chef.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, so he had all that, but after I got talking to him, he did a little bit of this is, whenever he was working at the hospital, he would go every now and then to go tire kicking at the car. There was a whole bunch of car dealerships right around in his neighborhood. And, you go there wearing your sweats and your jeans or something, right? Or your sweatshirt and your jeans or something like that. And they don't pay much attention to you because they make an analysis that you don't have money to spend or whatever. So anyways, he goes back to the places that didn't give him the time of day before. And he's like, so then he would get someone to come and he'd go, oh yeah, actually I'm here to purchase 2 brand new vehicles today. I need an SUV for myself and a whatever for my wife. That's, a sedan or whatever for my wife. And, gonna pay cash. And, these salesmen, they get all delirious because they're like all ching ching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't be spending it here because you guys treated my shit over the last 3 years when I would come looking for vehicles. So, I wouldn't want to be, but he also, what happened is I went over there and they were still so down to earth, regular. They didn't change in that way. And in fact, the story that really impressed me about him was that in the area that they moved into, there was a lot of new development going on, so a lot of construction in houses and this and that. And he was a bored guy. Like he's moved to this new place. He doesn't have a bunch of buddies yet, and he didn't tell nobody, when he moved there that he was a big lottery winner or something like that, right? And so he was hanging out and, whatever. I guess there's some construction crews building a house nearby. And so what he did, he needed a deck built and all that. And so he just talks to some of them and says, hey, in your spare time on the weekend or something, do you want to, get a little side job and come and build a deck for me, hey? And so they agree. Then he goes and tells off their foreman because the foreman was expecting a kickback for it. And he told the guy, off. They're doing this on their own time. Screw off. I didn't hire you. I hired them. But but he said, so the guys came over to start building. Of course, during the day, his wife makes lunch and all this and goes to invite them. They about fall over because they're going to be allowed to come into the house. And they're all like, you mean come in and eat? And they go, around here, we aren't even allowed to go to the front door of any place.
Oh, wow.
The back door. And so, they're still so, down to earth and this kind of thing. Yeah,
that's so cool.
It can go the other way, hey? It can go the other way and money can go to people's heads and that's not good either, so.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I've seen money and my own family tear people apart, and it just, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah, I just don't understand. if I had I don't know what I'll have left at the end of the day, but,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really have a close family anyhow. And so, but
Yeah.
I'll bet you any money if my mother survives me, she'll sue for my estate. And so I have instructions that she doesn't get a
Yeah.
penny. And I would rather burn the money than have her get a penny.
Yeah.
And but I like the idea in a will that would be a clause that says if anybody contests or fights over the amount of inheritance that they've been left, they get none, and then the rest will get amongst the rest of the people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, unless you're a dependent, you know what I mean? Nobody has no right to nothing. What gets in people's heads that they have a right to some dead person's money,
Exactly. I mean, my grandparents were probably worth about $1 million about a year before they died, and to me, that money, they were very sick, and that money needed to go to their health, and people were clamoring. The family was clamoring over the money, and it ended up going to their health, and I'm so glad. I mean, I'm glad there was nothing after, because it needed to go to what it needed to go to, and that was their care, and that was the most important thing. But there was so many fights in my family over that, and so ever since then, I'm just like, my mother put me at the executive of will, and I'm like, I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I don't even want to deal with that. But, because it's so horrible. It's ugly.
Well, and you start to see older people, maybe my age or something, right? And they've got elderly now, and the parents want to spend money on this or that, and the kids are feeling all like they're spending my inheritance. You know what I mean?
Know.
How dare you don't need a new car? That's my that's my inheritance. Oh my God, that person would be out of my effing will faster than their head would spin.
I'm like, spend it while you're alive. Have fun with it. Make sure there's nothing left. Spend it. Take care of yourself. That's what's important. So, exactly. It's maddening. It's maddening.
Well, and the true colors of people start to show. Then,
sure does. Sure does. Yeah.
So now, listen, you guys. Is anyone coming for readings tonight, or we may wind the show down early if we don't have, if we run out of stuff to talk about, Alea Dawn, or we have no callers, because there's just no point in our wheels. But did you have a topic or anything you wanted to touch on?
Well, I mean, I'm not in front of the computer. We could talk about, anything that anybody's interested in. If there's something that somebody specifically in the chat room would like to hear about.
Okay, well, listen. Well, I'm going to play a song and give people a chance to tell us what they want to do for the rest of the show. And then we'll come figure it out. What should I play? She Talks to Angels. No.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with. I hate. Sometimes I need to plan it out ahead so I don't do this crazy stuff. Here, this is a happy, feel good song.
Okay.
Love. I want to hold you to the stars. The way light shines in the park. Sunday afternoon.
We're not muted. Alea, we're not muted.
I want you to be big, want you to be gold. I want you to be sky. The more things change, the more they shine. I want to see you grow. I want to see your daylight shining all around your heart. I want to see you grow. I want to see your daylight so bright all around my soul. I want to see you so loved. grow. I wanna see you grow. I wanna see your daylight shining all around your heart. I wanna see you grow. I wanna see your daylight so bright all around my glow. I wanna see you grow. I wanna see your daylight shining all around your heart. I wanna see you grow. I wanna see your daylight so bright all around my soul.
Okay, they got on there. Here.
Are you looking for a place to connect with people? Perhaps you're a light worker looking for a safe place to share your thoughts and services. We've got a place for you. intuitalks.com. Join for free, post updates, blogs, create and join groups via website or class package. The possibilities are endless. Join the All Spiritual, All Under One Roof Network, www.intuitalks.com.
All right, back. Welcome back. I'll do a quick shout out and then, I got the new, the reason why, Mary Margaret, the new, my old phone, which is perfectly fine and works totally fine, and I like it better because it's smaller and it's, just better. It like fits in my little hand like that. This is so old, I guess, that the network it was running on is being shut down by my cell phone company. So I got a letter saying I had until the end of January to either upgrade or my phone wouldn't work no more because they were taking down the old network. So I had no choice, and I said, like, get me a phone, just a basic whatever, right? And like I thought I was just going to be getting a phone. And anyway, I get this thing, and it's kind of useless to me because I told them to block the data whatever, because I don't want to accidentally like be online for 12 hours and get a $50,000 freaking phone bill or something like that, because I don't have data on my plan right now. So anyway, so that's what it is. A smart television. Awesome. Well, good for you, Brittany. Good for you. So anyway, hello, Amy. Amy's here. Leah's our guest. Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Brittany offered to do a show last night, but I got the message kind of too late. And so thank you for offering to do that, Brittany. Christy Who, the artist formerly known as Christy, is here. Jane. See Jane type. Jane type. Hi, Jane. And is that the Jane I know? Is it the Jane I know or the Jane I don't know? And, Mary Margaret is here. Yay! Can you open up and let me hear your spiffy new microphone, Mary Margaret? See if she can do. Yes?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, this looks like the old-timey microphone, it's on the stand, but it's only about 8 inches.
You're breaking up, but that's just because of the internet, you know what I mean? But that's good. You got a microphone and you can hear, so that's good.
Yay! I missed all you guys.
Just in the future, if you use the little Skype button, like when you first come in the room, it shows you the welcome to Curious Times, and then it shows you the phone number, and then there's the blue Skype button there. And if you click that, as long as you know how to punch in the code number, you can call in for a Skype call, and you won't be broken up like you are on the browser, probably.
Okay.
And so just so you know for the future. Shelby's here. Hi, Shelby. How are you? Sherry, 17. And Wildflower Wind Sandy, Andy Vet is here. And so, Jane, there was somebody called Sylvia. What happened to Sylvia? Sylvia's mother said, Sylvia's whatever. Okay. Now I'm gonna get the Dr. Hook song. Sylvia's mother, Dr. Hook. Okay. Everything's a song to me, you know what I mean? Okay, so we're back with Alea Dawn. What's that flower you got on?
Hello.
So, nobody, let me see if I didn't notice anybody say anything in the chat room. Is anyone calling for a reading? Mary Margaret, are you calling for a reading? Brittany, are you calling for a reading? Or to engage in discussion? Or do you guys tell us what you want us to talk about? And nobody told us.
Nobody told us anything.
So see you guys. Thanks for coming. Okay. Mary Margaret is in for a reading, so that's good. To burn or not to burn. Okay, let's tackle this one. And this is going to be one of those things, you guys, in my opinion, that it's just what feels right to you. Please keep it, it's my opinion, okay, that no matter who you're listening to or whatever, like, none of these things is fast and hard. I believe so much in intent. And so if somebody tells you must burn your abundance check within 3 hours as soon as the new moon is done, you know, then it's craziness. It's crazy. So to burn or not to burn the abundance checks, Alea, what's your say on that?
I don't say to burn them. You want to burn them because whenever you burn, whenever you burn something, you release it into the air. This is why I tell people not to burn things like, you know, Ouija boards and things like that. But it's something that you want to come back to you. When you burn it, it gets set off into the air, and the intention is set out. So I say burn. Don't bury. Don't bury. Yeah. A lot of people will bury it, and burying it, what burning releases the energy. And what burying does is it sort of binds the energy.
Locks it up, right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So burn them. I don't think there's a specific time, but burn them. I think when you're ready, when you are, no, I wouldn't say it has to be burned in 3 hours, but I would say, you know, when you feel inspired to go out there and do it, I believe that oftentimes that we need to feel that inspired action. So when you feel like you're in a good space to do it and you're in a positive mindset, because your vibration is not just burning the abundance. What's really, really important is that we pay attention to our vibration. And I'm not talking about law of attraction stuff. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about having a high vibration, having a low vibration. I'm talking about having a vibration that matches that of feeling abundance. Okay? Because if you have, if we're talking about the law of vibration and working in with spells at the same time, you want to be in a mindset that you are vibrating at the same frequency as abundance. And so before you burn that abundance check, my advice would be is to look at your mindset in relation to abundance. And let's not call it abundance. Let's call it money, because that's what you're looking for when you send off an abundance check, right? And the universe can get tripped up with pretty words that we put on it. If you want money, ask for money. Don't be afraid of the word money. And oftentimes people will hear the word money and their stomachs will turn because they have such there's a negative influence in their subconscious when they hear the word money. So if you're looking to manifest money through this new moon, then my first thing I would say to you is, before you write that abundance check, is I would have you say to yourself, I want this much money. And then pay attention to the way your body feels. And if when you say that, if your tummy turns over and it doesn't feel good, or if you feel bad for wanting money, then it's time to release that emotion and start understanding the good, positive benefits of money and start speaking them. And then write that abundance check and set it ablaze, okay? Yeah. And it's not just, the energy works, we're energy, so it's, when you burn the abundance check, what you're doing is you're creating an energy. a positive release of energy. But if you have a negative mindset, that's going to go into it, okay? And so if you're sending out that abundance check, but your mindset is still in a place where the vibration feels off to you, then that's what you're going to send off along with it. And so you want to make sure that your mindset's straight first.
Yeah. I was just thinking as that, like, so bury what you don't want to come back and burn what you do want to come back to. I'm all like, so burn your dead people and don't bury them. And, and
I know.
Then the next thing I thought was, Bible talks about ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And so, probably meant that the way to do it is burn the bodies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's how I want to go. I mean, that's what I want done. I mean, I know everyone has a personal preference, but I just think about myself being stuck in the ground and worms going all the way through me. I mean, I don't.
The ridiculous waste of money that is involved with the ridiculous waste of money that is involved with a full-on.
I know.
Burial and everything else, like casket and now they charge enough for a freaking urn. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But
those burial people, they are some of the worst salesmen ever. I mean, it's a place of when someone's in grievance. I've seen it so many times. The people in grievance, and that's when they sort of go, oh, you want this? It's prettier, and it's like $5,000 more. And the grieving person is thinking about their loved one, going, yes, because they want something nice. Bury me and throw me out in the ocean. I mean, burn me and throw me out in the ocean. That's what I want,
I don't even care. Like I said, they should send me to the pig farm and let them study me or something. How long does it take to eat me? Or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I don't even want there to have to be an urn of me or what people should do with. When I was in high school, I told all my friends to take some of my ashes and roll up a big fat joint and smoke them. But of course, I've matured since then, and I don't hang around with drug smokers.
I know a couple people who, if you could burn them, they'd probably have enough marijuana in their system to burn them like a joint. Right. I know.
So that's the thing is do what feels right to you. But the one thing is that don't. I wouldn't suggest constantly think like now that you've written your abundance check or you've done your ceremony or whatever it is you're doing to attract something to you. Don't then continue to fret about it and think about it and worry about it and everything like this. It's almost like to say that, like if you say a prayer and you're sending up a prayer to the Creator, and then you start obsessing about it like the next day, like you're kind of telling that you don't have trust. You don't trust.
The same thing. Yep.
And so similarly, I think with your like set it and forget it is what because I remember the old Ron Popeil infomercials, and he had this chicken cooking thing that was set it and forget it, and
absolutely.
When I think about the abundance checks, that's exactly what I do, and
also look for other ways. Look for other ways that it manifests too, because there was a time where I was 2 months behind on my car, and I needed to come up with like $850, and I did not have $850. And I manifested the crap out of $850. And I didn't get the $850, but my car company worked with me and put the note back at the end, and so I didn't have to pay $850. And so at first I was like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I manifest, but I did. It just came to me in a different way. So,
that's the other key. Sometimes we don't know, like, well, here, it didn't work. Well, it might have worked because it could be that you were saved from some financial, like, big thing that was going to hit you. And now that didn't. And so we can't always know, you know what I mean? And I think of it like anything else, which is do it without expectation. Although some people say have expectation, you know what I mean? Like expect it to work. But having faith and expectation, I think, is different. What about that?
I think it's absolutely different.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely different. I think because here's my thing, okay? When we put out expectations, we are limiting ourselves to what we could receive. So I do believe that in the course of manifestation and law of vibration and law of attraction and all of that expectation can work. But I say don't expect, because when you start expecting, you're limiting yourself to that expectation. So, I mean, it's almost like, if we're going to talk about money, if we're trying to manifest money, for instance, and we say, okay, I'm expecting this amount of dollars to come in. Well, if the universe wants to send you something larger, well, you have just blown that away because you have put an expectation on what you're going to receive. And you sort of don't open yourself to other avenues. And on the other side of that, if you're expecting $1,000 in 3 days, and that's what you want, and that's what you expect, and you don't get it in 3 days, then you've lost faith in the universe, but you don't know that they could be bringing you something much larger in the next 2 days. So expectation is so much different than having faith. Having faith is I need this to satisfy a need, a want, or desire. And I have faith that the universe is going to provide it to me in a way that is coming off my vibration. My vibration I have to be in line with it. So I'm going to work on that part and have faith that Source is looking at this, or the Creator, however you look at it, and have faith that the Source, the Creator, is matching that energy and is going to bring it to me. So the great thing about this is that these are universal laws, okay? So they are indeed factual. They're not what you're putting out, what you're sending out, you're going to get back. And so these are universal laws. So whatever you do desire and you do send out, you're going to get back. But I do believe that there's a little bit of work involved in it. And I just don't think it's, saying a prayer and then let it go. I do think that we have to put ourselves into a place of matching that vibration. We have to look at our subconscious mind. And we have to look at, and I think a lot of times there's things in our subconscious mind that is so very deep. It's like our conscious sees something and forgets it. But our subconscious sees something, it doesn't forget it. It holds on to it. And it festers in the back when your conscious is not even connected to it. And so while you may be desiring money or you're having money troubles or there's financial problems, it's because there's something in your subconscious that's holding you back from it. And it could be something so simple as when you were a little girl and you want to go to the store and buy, candy or toys, and your parents would always say, we don't have enough money for that. And so your subconscious hears that, and as you start getting older, then that subconscious is like, we don't have enough money, and it's what's sending off to the universe, and suddenly you don't have enough money to pay your bills or other things that you want and that need or desire, So there's a couple different factors to weigh in on that. And I think a lot of times people look at the law of vibration and they look at the law of attraction and they think they're the same thing. And they're not. They're a little bit different. Law of attraction is manifesting in, certain desires, but law of vibration is matching yourself to each one of those desires individually. Because when we look at the word abundance, for instance, like I could have an abundance of friends. I'm a friendly person. I love my friends. I'm good to my friends. I receive a lot of friends. I'm totally abundant in my friendships. And at the same time, I could have a very deep lack of abundance in finances. And so my vibration is on the level of friendships is high. It's at a matching vibration. But my level of vibration with money is not. And so we have to look at those things as little individuals. And then we have to sort of appreciate the abundance that we do have in those certain areas so that we can get to a place of feeling abundance in others that we're not. But we also have to sort of talk to ourselves. When we think about, for those people who are struggling with money, especially after Christmas, there's probably a lot of people moving and things like that will give you a lot of financial issues, But we have to sort of sit down and look at it and go, okay, what is some positives of money? You know, what has money done that has created some really good things? And we can look at, you know, schools and feeding the hungry and things like that. But then we also have to remember that it's not money that does it. It's the people who do it. And I had a conversation with my son. He said, money is the root to all evil. I said, money is not the root to all evil. There's no way that money is the root to all evil. It's the people who look at it. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the person that's handling the money. So money's not the root to all evil. It's the mindset of the person who's handling it.
Money in the wrong hands. Yeah.
Money's just an energy. It's just, that's all it is. You know, it's a piece of paper.
There's so much good that gets done with money. You know what I mean? And
there is. And
so, it's now when you say do things to match your vibration, like, so what could you suggest that people do? Like, we hear these things said, well, just match your vibration. So now how, give a thing each day that a person could do that's a simple little thing that would help
Very
them.
Simple. Very simple. Okay, because it's not just matching your vibration, it's understanding that your subconscious is holding on to something. And the way that we feel is a great indicator. And I don't mean about being happy and silly and all that stuff. I don't mean about that, okay? Because there are people who, and I'm sure there's people in your group right here listening. I don't really like the whole fluffy bunny idea of law of attraction and vibration and all that, okay? Because what it says is, okay, get yourself in a really good mood, be really, really super happy, and all these wonderful things are going to happen for you. But that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can put yourself, let's say for instance, you put yourself, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to be grateful for 5 million things today, and I'm going to be super happy, and I'm going to fill my life with happiness, and I'm still broke. Why? Mm-hmm. Well, it's because there's such, when you look at money, do you get a sense of gratitude for it?
Right.
And the answer is probably no. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's like little tricks that you can do to your subconscious, and there's little things that you can do. So what you can do is you can recreate a memory. So if you sort of know, like for me it was, and that's why I used the example of, no, we don't have enough money. My mom was a single mom in the 70s, you know, and so she would always say, we don't have enough money for that toy, or we don't have enough money for that candy. And that was sort of my indicator when I went back and I thought about things that my mom would say to me. And so I started saying, okay, so what did we have money for? That was good, you know, and I would say, oh, you know, money provided us with food, it provided us with shelter, money provided us with nice things. I had clothes. My mom would go shopping. She'd save her money, and that money would provide me with school clothes each year. My mother was really good with money when I was younger, a single mom in the 70s. And you know, I sort of matched my idea of the positivities of money and changed my thoughts about money. But the very first thing that I did is when I said, and I actually went to a coach and I said, you know, I want to work on my abundance. And she said, well, okay, let's get literal. You want money? And I said, yeah. She said, ask for it. And I said it, and I got this awful feeling, Chris. It was just terrible. Like, it was just like I felt ashamed for wanting money, but I needed money, you know, and I needed it to sustain my bills and things that we needed, and then I felt so ashamed. And so I had to sort of ask myself, and this is what I would suggest to everyone here, is just take 15 minutes in the morning or in the evening and just sit down and collect your thoughts. Ask yourself, you know, what would it feel like if I say the word money? If I say I want money, what does that feel like? And pay attention to what your tummy does, pay attention to what your mind does, and then pay attention to your other thoughts, and then just write them down.
Yeah.
And if they're negative in nature, you can say, okay, how can I take that thought and flip it and change the story? So it's about finding the positives to money, not the negatives to money. And over time, as you begin to do that, your vibration sort of changes. And we went through this little thing in the KERA Center We had a little workshop on this. And basically what we would do is we would sit down and say, okay, I am money, I am plenty, and I am present. I am money, I am enough, and I am present. And, I would make them say the word, I am money, because I wanted them to pay attention to the way they felt when they said, I am money. And then one of the ladies came right after that and said it was such a great exercise that she actually, after doing that, she actually went out and won a little lottery. It was a small amount, but it was enough because she felt so unlucky that when she went out and did it, it sort of made her feel better about doing it because she was changing her vibration of money. And so when you do that and money starts to show up, that's when you can be grateful for it. Because trying to be grateful for money when you don't have any is very hard. And you're lying to your subconscious, and your subconscious knows it. And that's the part, I love Abraham Hicks. That's the part of Abraham Hicks that I can't get past. Because how can you be grateful for something if you're in a place of where you're losing everything? And I've been there. How can you feel grateful for that? And it's really hard to. So you have to find the moments. If you get a $1 bill and be like, oh, I got $1, that's really cool. Like and it is really cool.
$5 in an old coat or the coat from last fall.
Yeah. That's fun. That's fun when you find it. You're like, oh, I found $5, And so you can, and if you go back and you remember those times when something happened, maybe you found $1 in the street and it surprised you or something, and you're like, oh, cool. And you get that feeling. That's the feeling that you want. That's that gratitude feeling that you're looking for. Don't fluffy bunny it up.
And every time my furnace kicks in, and I'm aware of it, you know what I mean? I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because it's been precarious for I have to kickstart it several times in the year, for 2 years. And that would be disastrous in winter, right? And so so I'm like, I look up and I go, thanks. I really appreciate that. And I mean it. Every time I say it, I mean it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so,
that feeling that you get, that feeling that you get, that's the feeling that you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's actually called, working on your subconscious mindset. It's called mindset training. And if you just do that for 15 minutes in the morning every day, without any expectation that what you're going to do is going to change, you just know that as you're working through it, and this is my thought, when you're working through something, when you're working through a barrier that you have, and I don't call them blocks because as soon as we accept that we have a financial block, then we have one. Okay? So I hate the word block because we don't have them. We just have little barriers that we need to maneuver around. And I honestly think when you are working on a financial barrier, it's the energy you're sending out there. It's not so much source or the creator doing it, but of course it's their energy matching with it. But it's you doing it because you're sending the energy out that I want to work through this. I'm trying my best to work through this. I'm spending the time working through this. And, of course, whenever you send our energy, you get that back. And so you get that back in a positive result. So I think just doing that 15-minute mindset work in the morning or at night, whatever, in the afternoon, whatever's best for you, I think that's enough in sending the energy out to come back to you, honestly.
Yeah. What else have you guys got in your minds about that? What other tricks do you guys use out there in Chatland? What other tricks do you guys use? Amy's been manifesting everything lately. She got a job. Yeah. She got an excellent deal on a residence for her mom to live at.
Nice.
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff coming together for Amy, and so
cool.
That's good for her.
Absolutely.
So Mary,
that's awesome.
Where did Mary Margaret go? Okay, she doesn't have. Can someone ask Mary Margaret in the chat room if she's coming back? Because her speaker's off now. She's still in the chat room, and she did say she was game for a reading. And so let's keep our eye out for her. Just keep moving. See past the thing you want to. Okay, just keep moving. See past the thing. Yeah. See past the thing. You see past the thing. See past whatever it is. You know what I mean? I guess I don't see past the thing you to life with that thing. I don't understand that, but I think the idea is, yeah, just see past, like look beyond, and it's kind of like, you know, in some of my worst days, you know, I got a sneeze coming. Pardon me. Is that I stop and okay, stop sneezing. No sneezing on the air. Okay. It took all of my magic to stop that sneeze. Is to say, this is not gonna happen. Like, tomorrow's coming. You know what I mean? Like, an hour from now is coming. Like, every moment is not gonna be this moment. And so see past it. See past it. Look to the potential. And you know,
that's awesome.
That to help you get through. I like the idea of the, you know, like coming back to the expect versus having faith. With everything except, like, you hear this this terminology, which is expect miracles, and I don't have a problem with that per se.
Right.
And using that word expect in that case. So I don't know if I'm being a bit hypocritical on that or what, but cherry picking or something. But I guess expect is open yourself up to, you know what I mean? But expect really means, like, you know,
what about anticipate? I mean, I like the word anticipate, you know,
right.
To anticipate greatness. The word miracles for me is sort of like, when you hear the word expect miracles, I'm thinking, well, then basically somebody who is, you know, dealing with lack of financial abundance, if they're looking at it like a miracle, and miracles are rare and occurrence, it's sort of like, well, it's a miracle, it might be really hard for me to get. You know what I mean? So I sort of don't like the word miracle attached to it, because I think everybody can be awarded and afforded everything that we need, want, desire. But I think when we attach certain words to it, like the word miracles is pretty, you know, so expect miracles, you know, it's got a nice ringtone to it. But at the same time, miracles is a word that is a word of limitation for me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I look at things a little bit differently sometimes, but I say it's not a miracle. I mean, it's just understanding your energy and being able to change that. And once you do, then really great things can happen. You know, it's miracles to me is like something rare and occurrence. So if I hear the word miracles and I'm attaching it to my financial abundance, then it's a rarity that my financial abundance might happen, but I can expect it. Well, when should I expect it? It's only going to happen once or twice. You know what I mean? That's sort of the thoughts that go through my subconscious mind when I hear it. I don't know. I look at some words to me, and they're just sort of like limitation words to me, and that would be one to me that would be a limitation word.
Yeah. Okay. Now, we don't know what happened to Mary Margaret, so I don't have. Sylvia's back. Sylvia, I'm going to come and unmute you. In fact, how about this? Okay, there, you're unmuted anyway. You unmuted yourself, Sylvia. How do you know?
This is not my computer.
Okay. You're a little bit broken up. What's going on, Sylvia? How you doing?
Great, thank you. Doing great. Just going through some stuff that is, wow. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Oh, she's trying to Skype in. Okay, so did you want to get a reading or something? Is that what you're calling for?
Oh yeah, I could get a reading, and I was wanting to listen.
Okay. So Alea, is there like what kind of, you have a specific area of concern or a specific question for Alea, or?
Oh, I would like to know if if she can tell me if there's anything in this house. I keep hearing voices. She's seeing mists, seeing shadows in this house that I live in.
Okay, so she's hearing voices and seeing shadows and all this kind of stuff in the house that she's living in. Do you have any impressions on what's going on there, Alea?
Yeah, I can barely hear her. She sounds like she's far away and it's broken up really, really bad. Is this a new place that she's moved into?
I've lived here for 10 years.
10 years.
Okay, and so suddenly she's starting to hear voices. This is sudden? This is new?
No, it's been happening about 5 years after I moved in here. I was sitting at my kitchen table and I watched a bag, my bread was lifted up off the top of the refrigerator and then it was dropped. That freaked me out, but it didn't scare me.
So back, you're really breaking up bad, Sylvia. Are you on a cell phone or?
No, I'm on a laptop connected to.
Oh, okay. You have wireless internet probably.
No, it's hooked up to a Cat 5.
You have a wireless headset then?
Oh, yes. Can I connect? Ella, can you connect this back to it?
Yeah.
It's cutting up a lot.
Yeah.
They can't hear me.
So, in the meanwhile, I'll tell, so she had a fridge and there was a loaf of bread on the fridge. It lifted up and then dropped. And it didn't scare her, but that was the first thing 5 years after she moved in, so about 5 years ago.
Okay. And has it harmed them in any way, or has she been harmed in any way?
Hold on a minute.
Has any of this caused any harm to anybody, Sylvia?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So has any of this business caused any harm to anyone in your home?
Not that I'm aware of. I have not. Just a lot of arguments.
A lot of activity?
Yeah. It'll pick up. My husband had a hat near the fireplace. He watched the hat being picked up and dropped.
What
happened to your husband?
The fireplace, something got picked up and dropped. What was it again?
A hat. His hat.
Oh, a hat.
Weird things like that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
now,
so...
now when you say picked up, okay, you actually see it rising off the surface it was on and then moving over and dropping?
Yes.
Or are you just finding it on the ground? Because I just share something real quick, and I'm not saying this is what happened to you, but I had a candle on one of my tables many years ago. Every now and then I would notice that thing was not where it was supposed to be. And I live alone. You know what I mean? And so I started, and I happened to be home one day and the thing fell right off. I finally realized that every time the bus went by, it caused a bit of a vibration in my house. And so that candle was moving just a little teeny bit at a time, and it would get closer and closer to the edge, and it just so happened that I was here one day. And so I'm not saying that that's what it was, because if you're saying that it actually lifts up off the surface, and then drops, then that's...
The hat was on a hat hook, but it was picked up and just dropped. I see these things.
Yeah. So basically, what you, to me, and it would help if I could hear her better, because I could sort of tap into her energy a little bit, Chris. But just from hearing and hearing what she's saying, to me, she's been there 10 years, and this has been going on for 5 years, and nobody's been harmed. But I wouldn't say that she has anything malicious in there. However, the energy that's there. Can she hear me okay? Can she hear me well, even though she's breaking up?
Yes.
Okay.
You can hear fun, right?
You're breaking up. What'd you say?
Oh, we're breaking up now. So can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So to me, it sounds like what happened is you have a lot of energy running through the house, you're hearing voices. Are you hearing different kinds of voices? Are you hearing male voices and female voices, that kind of thing?
I heard yesterday or the day before yesterday. No, it was yesterday I was cooking. And while I was cooking, I heard a male voice call out my name, like if it was at a distance.
Male voice calls out her name. A male voice.
Okay. So I hate to ask a series of questions, but I'm going to have to. Did she start a development practice 5 years after she moved in there, and then all this started happening, or was she open before?
Open. I think I was seeing things all along, but they weren't registering. I was explaining them away, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what I think she's got happening is she's, like the property that I was on, and this is what it sort of reminds me of, is that we had a lot of energy on the property. It wasn't just one specific energy. There was a lot of energy on the property. The property itself had history, even if the house didn't. Okay? And so there was a lot of energy in the area. And a lot of times that energy would pass through, and we would catch glimpses of things that would happen. There is oftentimes when you have a lot of energy like that, a lot of people who are, we'll say, we won't call them stuck, but we'll call them not crossed over. There's usually one energy that sort of keeps them there, okay? And that's the reason it's almost like they're corralled. You know, like we do as people, we follow the leader kind of thing. And so you could have one specific energy that's keeping all the energy there. Especially, does the property have history to it where you are?
Yes, I believe it does, but the history we don't really know the history because I live in South Lake Tahoe, California, and in order to find out the history of anything here, you got to go back to the founding fathers of the city.
Okay.
And
okay. Yeah, like I was able to assess from where we were. There was a lot of I'm in the South, and so there was a lot of slavery in this area, and the history to the property had a lot of things happen to it, and so I finally assessed that we had one energy that was sort of keeping everybody there because he was protecting all the energy that was still there. In his role, in his frame of mind, that's what he thought. So, you probably if I would say that you're not getting harmed by this energy, what they're doing is they realize that you're aware of them, okay? And that's why they're calling out your name, and that's why they're picking out the hat and dropping it. They're letting you know that they're aware of you, and at the same time, they want you to be aware of them. I would say that you probably need to do a healing of the property. Has she done any kind of saging or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. So you would sage. Let me just gather this. So I bet you would sage, and it would feel really good for about 2 weeks, and then something else would happen to come back, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll ask you a question. I live like 3 blocks from a hospital. Could that have anything to do with it?
3 blocks,
3 miles?
3 blocks from a hospital.
3 blocks from a hospital?
Yes.
A hospital, like a...
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely has everything to do with it. Because what's happening is okay, so grave sites don't have the same kind of energy that hospitals and hospices do. So she has energy moving through her house. It's not attached to the house. It's attached to the area. Okay, so she may, I don't know if she's got any kind of like electricity lines or water lines or anything like that. Oftentimes when you have an electricity line and a water line close together and you have energy that's crossing, that is passed over but hasn't crossed over, it can create an energy field through your house. And so that could be what she's dealing with. Oftentimes what happens is when we sage, we think we're getting rid of the energy. And basically what you're doing when you sage is you're sending off what they call negative ions to move positive ions out of the area, okay? And so it makes the energy feel good. It doesn't necessarily get rid of your ghost, though, okay? And this took me a long time to figure out because I would go and do a healing of a property, and then I'd come back, and like 2 weeks or a month later, they'd be like, well, we felt so good, and then all of a sudden it came back with a bang. And the reason why is because the energy of your ghosts are also attuned with the energy of the house, okay? And so if there's a lot of stress or anything going on in the house, it's energy. So they're going to match the vibration of the energy. Here we go, talking about vibration again. But it sort of falls on the same line. So if there's a lot of anxiety going on in the house, if you're having stressful times too, that can add to the energy. And the energy that's there is feeding off of that, okay? So oftentimes our angry ghosts are not necessarily angry. They're just feeling the energy of anger. You know what I mean? And so what we need to do is when you do a sage, when you're doing the staging of the property, that's the time, because what you're doing is you're putting that energy, you're sending off a good vibration in the house. The energy that's moving through the house is feeling it, okay? So that's why they're sort of matching that vibration. So that's sort of why you are not, why you're not feeling it after you do a sage for a while, is because they're feeling good in that energy too. That's the time that you need to sort of speak to them and say, okay, this is my house. I need you to, and a lot of times what I do is I don't tell them they need to go to the light, but I tell them what the light is. I have sort of explained to them what the light is. It's an all-loving place. It's all-forgiving. There's no judgment there. Your loved ones are waiting for you. This is the time for you to move on and find your loved ones and find some peace there. Please try to find the light, okay? And that's what I sort of also encourage, archangels to come in and assist in any way possible for those who are lost or those who need some direction to move on. You don't want the energy to stay in your house, even if it's not malicious in nature, because we're in the third dimension, and so there's a lot of different emotions that can create a vibration that energy is going to attach to. And so as they're carrying that vibration in, they bring in other energies along in with it. Okay, so we have to try to get that energy to move on as much as possible. And a great way to do that is also to do it along the property. And basically what you can do is you can just ask your angels to be with you and just hold out your hands and just say, I offer, love and peace and the light to fulfill this property so that they can move on in a peaceful manner. And you can even sage outside, okay? You can sage outside. You can take some salt and put it around your house. And any salt will work. Sea salt is the best. Himalayan salt is the primo best. But basically what you do is you just sprinkle that salt around the perimeter of the house so that your house is protected. The salt is a natural purifier of energy, okay? And so you just put some salt around the house and you sage and you just speak to them like they're people, because that's what they are. They're just people who cross over and they're either stuck or they're afraid to move on. And you just sort of guide them, give them guidance as to what the light is and what to expect beyond that light. And then ask them if they would move on, because they would be at more peace and more love that way. Okay, so we just don't sage and leave it. We have to sage and then guide, and then ask for angels to come in and fill that void where they need that help. Okay?
Okay. Gotcha.
But I would not be afraid of the energy, because I'm going to tell you something. If it was malicious in nature, within 2 weeks of the first occurrence, you would have been experiencing something more malicious. You would have had slaps or scratches or anything like that. Now, I bet you're probably experiencing some financial things and some. Are you feeling a little bit, like you're more tired and lethargic in the house?
I think it's the first thing you said. I forgot what it was.
The financial?
Yeah.
Their energy is low. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad, okay? Just because their energy is low does not mean that they're bad. Their energy is low, so it's creating a low vibration in the house. And then when you experience something like a financial loss or something like that, when you're adding to that energy, they're feeding off of it, and things start going crazy and haywire. Okay? The thing to do is to get them to move on. Get them to move on. And that sounds really easy to do, and it can take a lot of trust. Okay, if you have any fear principle to it, I would encourage you to call in Archangel Michael. And when I say for you to call in Archangel Michael, I say speak from your heart. You don't have to do anything crazy or ritualistic. Okay, just come into a place of your heart where you know why you need him. Archangel Michael brings a lot of courage. He helps us battle fear. And he also helps those who has passed over but not crossed over. He helps them with their fear elements too. So I would call on Archangel Michael and ask him to assist those and assist yourself in helping to clear the energy of the house. All right. Okay. But because of your property, property probably has a lot of historical value. Because there's probably a hospice 3 miles down the road. You want to make sure that you're consistently, and I would say on a month basis, I would say it's a house. I would do the salt perimeters. I would also make sure that everything inside my house, I would make sure my house is very clean, okay, dusted, old papers that have no value to you, out, okay, old clothes, old things, anything that is a material and you don't need anymore. Get it out of there. Don't keep it, okay, because energy attaches to that kind of stuff. So anything I would do, when I say a house cleaning, I mean saging and cleaning. Sometimes literally just cleaning the house can do enough to lift the vibration so that the vibration, the energy starts feeling good. And then you can even, from there be, this is my home, this is my space, this is my safe space. I want a safe space for you too, but it's not here. And, encourage them what the light is and ask them to move on, okay? But do that on a monthly basis. Do a holistic cleaning practice of your home on a monthly basis, so that you're arming yourself with the best tools possible, okay?
Okay. That sounds good. That's what I do. I usually go either every 2 weeks is when I can find the sage, because the sage is very hard to find up here. I've done the salt around the house. That's one of the first things I did. And then I burn the sage every 2 weeks or whenever I can find it. I've done that. And it does seem to help it.
It will.
Here's my 2 cents. Okay. And next time, we'd love to talk with you and get on a wired headset, like directly wired in, and then we'll be good. We'll have good sound because we could hardly hear. You're really breaking up. Is really badly. But anyway, my 2 cents on this is because there's nothing to lose, but get your mummy voice on and just tell them to leave. It's your space. This is my space. Go somewhere else. Go to the light. You know what I mean? People are waiting for you at the light, but you can't be here. This is my place. And say it like you mean it.
Yes.
Like the saging and the salt, a lot of times I feel that people are doing that like hopeful and somewhat, it's passive, in my opinion. I'm not saying don't do it, but it's very passive, in my opinion,
What's passive?
Passive. Like, I'm saying it's passive in that you're putting the salt or you're burning the sage, you're not being aggressive. Now I'm not saying taunt, I'm not saying disrespect, I'm not saying but I'm saying take charge of your domain. It's your space. And just like if a rotten boyfriend, you get out, you know what I mean? Get out. You're not welcome here. Like as any other visitor that's not welcome in your home. Okay. So I'm saying that passive is kind of like it's like a mouse trap, like you're setting a mouse hoping that the mouse will go into the trap. You know what I mean? Yeah. As opposed to, you know what I'm saying. So I would just add that, and because it's your space, and if you take that tone, you must be a mother, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a mother tone.
Assertive.
And so try that in addition to whatever else you're doing, okay?
I will. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for joining us and listening in, Sylvia. Mary Margaret, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I tried to Skype, but it wasn't working, so can you hear me?
Yes, you're not breaking up, so that's good news. I didn't think I could handle for a call like this.
Hi, Alea.
Hi, Mary Margaret. How are you?
I'm good. I was just wondering if there's anybody that's got any news for me from the other side.
Well, there's definitely a male energy around you. Let me just see if I can tap into him a little bit. It feels like a very fatherly energy.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if your dad's in spirit, but it makes me feel like he's your dad. I would say he's. I'm hearing the word domineering. So I don't know if he's a dominant kind of a fellow, but he definitely is telling me that he is or was.
That's not my dad, but it could be my father-in-law.
Okay. Well, did your dad have black hair?
Yes.
Okay.
But he was real easygoing.
Okay, but this is what I'm seeing. Okay, so he said the word domineering, so maybe we'll tap into that word in just a minute. Okay. Let me show you who I have. Let me show you who I have, and let's see if we can match to your dad. Okay. I have a man with black hair. It seems like his hairline is receding a little bit. He's got a little bit of a pot belly to him, but not bad. I wouldn't say he is especially he feels like he might have been a little bit on the average side of height, too short. And he does sort of show himself to me as sort of easygoing and quiet. Does that sound like your dad?
He was a kind of a jokester. Sometimes he was quiet.
Okay.
He always jingled change in his pocket, and he'd whistle a lot. He was handsome.
Did as he got older, did he have a little bit of a pot belly?
No, not really.
Okay.
He was about 5'8", though. You were right on.
Okay.
The
So
receding
he's sort
hair.
of like. Okay, so he's sort of like, it could be symbolic, but he's sort of like patting this pot belly. Okay, so I don't know why he's doing that, but he's sort of patting his pot belly, and he sort of stands there. He's not real animated to me right now. That's why I thought maybe he was kind of quiet, because he's standing there just tapping his pot belly. Are you asking about money, Mary Margaret?
That's funny, because I was thinking of what I was going to ask before, and yeah, I don't even know how to put it.
It's almost like, because when he was patting his pot belly, I got the whole piggy bank kind of thing. I don't know why I associated the two. Okay, but I sort of did. And I see him just having it. Which makes me feel like, it's almost like he's encouraging you to save a little bit.
That's very possible.
There's not anybody that could be pregnant around you, is there?
My daughter, I don't know that she is. They were trying.
Okay. Because that too is like, it's almost like a pregnant belly, and he's sort of smiling right now. Did he wear glasses sometimes, which it didn't need him all the time, maybe just for reading?
Yes.
Okay. Because he put his glasses on and took them off, and that usually indicates to me that he didn't wear them all the time, but he did need them for reading. And he does show me a newspaper, which makes me feel like there's news on the way. Okay. Has he been gone for some time? And when I say that, has it been 10 years or more?
94. In 1994, he passed.
Okay. Was he in his 50s when he passed?
No, he was in his 70s.
Okay, he's giving me the number 54. Does that mean anything to you? When you said 94, I was hearing 54. And so I don't know if it's a year or if it's a birthday or it could be May 4th. I'm seeing the numbers 54 together.
Maybe it's May 4th because or something's coming up. Because
okay.
50. My brother's older than I am. I was born at 49.
Okay, so write down the number 54.
Okay.
Okay, and just hold on to that for now because it could mean something later. But as you were saying 94, I heard 54, and then I saw 54, so it means something. Okay. Name Gary mean anything to you?
Not right now, but
okay.
I'll write that down too.
I don't know what the financial situation is, but I'm getting an indication of some financial stuff going on. And it's almost like he's wanting you to prepare, okay? So I definitely, if you could save a few cents here and there, that's what I would do. It's sort of like banking it for a rainy day, okay? The rainy day fund. I would definitely do that because that's the indication that I feel from him. I also do get a sense that good news is on its way this year, in 2017, as in way of babies being born or baby being born. Okay, I do get an image of a small child up in spirit, waiting to come. So I feel like that news is going to happen this year.
Cool. That's awesome.
I'm seeing a lot of hair bows and things like that. Hey, Margaret, are you single?
No.
Okay. Okay, because it also feels like there's going to be, like, did someone just recently get married, or is there a marriage being planned?
Yeah, I've got 2 cousins that are getting married, one in May and August, and I'm doing the flowers for their weddings.
Okay. Because I saw wedding celebrations, and I wasn't sure if he might be indicating that he's aware. But yet he's so distant from those. Was that on his side or your mom's side?
It was my mom's side, but
okay.
They were little when he passed.
Yeah, because he almost felt distant from it, so he might be just trying to validate things in your experience right now. Because he didn't feel like he was attached to the result of it, you know what I mean? But he was aware of it. And have you been running yourself ragged?
Well, I'm trying. I've got so much clutter, I'm ashamed. And I'm trying to get that done, and it's just like I've got a bad leg, and I have to lose over 100 pounds before they'll operate on it because they worry about infection. And I'm having a real tough time with that.
Yeah, he's telling me that you're running yourself ragged, okay? And oftentimes when we do things in a spot of anxiety, it's almost like it doesn't get done. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's too much to get. When there's too much to get done, we don't know where to start. You know, that's the feeling that I get. Like, I don't even know where in the hell to begin at this point. Because it's just so much. And so, he's saying that it's an emotional, there's actually an emotion, it's more emotional than it is anything. And so I think he's more worried about, I don't think he's as much worried about the leg as he is about your emotional state right now. Because he wants you to take some time and just breathe, okay? and work your way through it slowly, one at a time, and you'll get a lot more done that way. I think you've just got, like, it's like there's too many to-do lists, you know. When I came on the show in the beginning, I don't know if I told you guys, but I was running myself ragged. And once I was able to slow down, I was able to look at things in a different perspective. So, like, take a step back. Sometimes when you're looking outside the box instead of being in the box, you can see things a lot more clearly, you know. And so I think in the loop, are you trying to organize things and put things in spaces?
Yes.
Like, I got to do this then?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, let go, and just be like, okay, what can I accomplish right now that would be easy for me? You know, okay, what's the next thing that I can accomplish? And then don't forget, you know, we often tend to, you know, we have so much going on, Mary Margaret, that we often tend to bypass what we've done. So every time you get through something, one little task, like, be like proud of yourself. Okay, I got through that. Ooh, that feels good. I don't have to look at that again. You know what I mean? Give yourself some kudos and encouragement as you're going through it, and not the other way around for not doing things because you're not getting through them. You're like, oh my God, you know, I still got this and that's supposed to do. So it's like, give yourself kudos. Oh, I did that. That feels good. What's the next small thing I can do? That's sort of where he's leading you. Were you his baby girl?
Yes.
Because I'm getting a very sense of a father's little girl kind of feel to you, like that was a relationship that you had. It was very endearing, especially when you were small. But I also, were you tomboyish at all, Mary Margaret, growing up?
Was I what?
Were you a tomboy at all growing up?
Yeah.
When you started hitting teenage, because I almost see you like he's showing me you in almost like a sports attire to show me that you're more you liked, you know, tomboyish kind of things. And I think he identified with you.
I was home run Mary with baseball. I love baseball.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so he's definitely showing me that. And I think he really enjoyed those years. Like, I can, you know, he was like when you were small, you're like, daddy's little girl, but as you started to get older, like, it was like you were a chip off the old block kind, you know what I mean? Okay. And he's showing me that as a past endearment, that he still holds on to. Did you have your hair in pigtails when you were a budding teenager, like 12 years old? Did you wear your hair in pigtails?
Not really when I was 12. That was more when I was like in my like grade school.
I was definitely seeing like pigtails. You saw me like pigtails. Like you always had your hair in pigtails. It's like that memory is just taken with him. And he's definitely smitten by you. He loves his daughter. Did you have a brother as well? Did you have two brothers?
One brother.
Okay. I'm seeing two. Like, are you the baby?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm seeing two male energies, like, and they look like they're just like a little bit, like one is like a little bit older than you, and the other one is like a lot older than you. I don't know where those.
My cousins lived 3 houses up from us when I was little.
Okay.
And that's the age difference between, and they were, we were real close to them.
Okay. Are you feeling a shift in this year? Are you feeling like things are getting a little bit better this year than they were last year?
I've been really depressed because of my leg. Does he see anything about when that possibility of me getting that fixed is?
I'm definitely seeing this year. I feel like I'm seeing September is when I'm being shown. Because he's telling me that things are going to start to progress. Okay. I feel like this year is why I asked you if you felt a shift, because I feel like there's a shift that's happening in your life. Little small things you may not notice, but pay attention to them, Mary Margaret, okay?
Okay.
Because it feels like there's little things that are happening that's leading you in a little bit of a better feeling place. Emotionally, I think you got to get yourself. He's like less worried about the leg then he's more worried about the emotional state. All right. He's really concerned about your emotional state. He's and then, like you said, depression, but it's the battering myself inside my head kind of thing that I think he's got on his brain, or got, in spirit brain, spirit energy. I think he's worried about that, more so than anything. So, I would encourage you to do some things to get yourself feeling better, to work on some little self-love actualization kind of exercises, and to, give yourself some permission to be okay. Give yourself permission to get through things slowly and stop beating yourself up. Okay, that I think is the most important thing. And I think oftentimes when we start talking about, what we need to get done, if our emotional states are in a dark place, it's going to be hard to get those things done because we're not going to feel like it, okay? So let's get the emotional brain working. Are you switching doctors by chance? Are you in the middle of switching doctors? Or are you thinking about switching a doctor?
Yes, ma'am. That's
funny.
Okay,
because that's a positive move. That's definitely a positive move, okay? He is encouraging you to find another doctor, but I am seeing September of this year medically as a positive thing for you, whether that's undergoing surgery or at least planning for surgery at that point. September of 2017 feels good, okay? But please do work on that emotional state. Work on that emotional state of mind to get yourself there, okay?
Thank you so much, Alea.
You're welcome. Nice. He's leaving you. He's leaving you with a little lily flower, a little white lily flower. He's leaving that with you as a gift, as in a personal endearment kind of gift. Okay, so if you see one, if one should peek its way to you, that's your dad sort of giving you a message that he's with you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Mary Margaret. So just mute yourself. Leah, do you have time for one more quick one?
Sure.
Okay, Brittany, can you unmute yourself, please? Or I will. Okay, there you are.
Thanks. Hey.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thanks for offering to do that last night.
Yeah, no problem.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So do you have a question?
I was doing it. I just wanted to see, kind of same as Mary Margaret, what was out there, what was getting picked up.
You have a male appearing too. Did you hear me okay? Can you hear me, Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a male appearing for you too. This male is showing himself as a little bit taller, thinner, and he's got light color here. He gives me a feel of father energy too. Is your father passed?
No.
Okay.
Grandfather.
I'm hearing the name John. Does that mean anything to you?
Not that I think of right now.
Okay.
Does
this description fit your stepfather?
No.
Okay.
It's a J name.
I'm sorry?
It's a J
name. It's a J name.
But he wasn't a little bit taller and thin with like almost like it's like a sandy blonde shaggy hair.
Some of it fits.
You know what it reminds me of? As weird as it sounds, because I'm referring to the show, but did you ever watch the show Medium?
Was that with Patricia Arquette?
Did you ever watch the show Medium?
Yeah, I said Patricia. I think I watched an episode or two.
Yes. Yeah, her husband. That's what he reminds me of. In a very similar way, he reminds me of her husband. Even personality kind of way. That's sort of like the description that I'm sort of seeing. That's what he reminds me of. He doesn't feel like he's especially old to me. Like it feels like he died young. And he's showing me that he was here one minute and gone the next. So I feel like he died very quickly. And does that making any sense to you? Is that helping?
Yeah. Yeah. That does.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
I can't. I'm having a hard time hearing you, and I'm having a hard time pulling him through. So I'm trying to pull the two together. Okay, so you've got a couple people in spirit, Brittany, because I'm also at the same time I'm pulling through a young girl that almost feels like she would be around your age, if not just like a little bit older. But she's sort of like in the background behind him. So it almost feels like they're there just to support you through something right now. It's almost like, it's like they're standing there, they're like watching you, and it feels like that, I don't know what it is that you're going through right now, but it feels like you need a lot of support. So it feels like there's something monumental going on in your life that you're needing to know that spirit is around you and sort of not cheering you on, but letting you know that emotional support is still there. That there's things urging you on. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. They keep showing me the month of January. So it feels like there's either something that has just happened, or it could be in relation to a birthday, but it feels like it's more like something has just happened, and it's been in this month, that has caused you to sort of change a direction, or maybe looking at changing a direction, but it feels very monumental. Did you have a sister that passed, or a really close friend to you that passed, that you would have considered like a sister?
Not a female, but a male.
Okay. I'm definitely seeing a female energy that feels very sisterly. She's actually appearing, she's got blonde hair, she's got long blonde hair, and she's wearing it on the side, like she's got it tied up in a bow on the side. She's fairly attractive, but she didn't wear a lot of makeup. It looks like she's not wearing a lot of makeup, so it makes me feel like she died before the age where you put a lot of makeup on, because she's showing me sort of like that, still that little girl kind of face. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know who that is?
It makes sense, but not really like a person particular.
Okay.
Hard to explain.
Okay. This is really hard because as they're standing there and they're like showing me that they're there to support you, it's like they're not lifting a finger to point you to a direction. You know what I mean? But there's is this revolved around a relationship?
Yeah, aspects of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of
yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot tied. It's all emotional, like not on their end, but more so on yours. Like there's some emotional stuff attached to it, which made me feel like a relationship. Because oftentimes when it's like a career path, and it's almost like there's a career path and a relationship path there, but the decision solely lies on the relationship piece of it. And that's the feeling that I get from it. But there's sort of like, it's like a decision that you have to make that will affect your life. And so they're not pointing any fingers in what direction to go. They're just letting you know that whatever decision is made, you're supported through it. I don't know if that helps in any way, but they want you to, I feel like you need to be calling out and talking to them. Did you have a distant relationship with this man?
It's hard. It's very complicated. Like it was in the long-term one, and it ended. It was in a short-term one, and kind of said some things that maybe changed a lot of the ways I thought about how I go about a lot of things. Yes, you could say.
Was he a smart man? Because I get the impression that he was pretty intelligent.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. I don't really know why it's affecting me in this way.
Mm-hmm.
More like, things they said kind of maybe like, struck a chord a little bit.
Things that you said? I'm having a hard time hearing.
It was just.
Yeah, things that she said. Things that you said, or
both. I didn't really. I wasn't reacting like myself.
Mm-hmm. But you know that once they cross over, that they're no longer attached to those physical emotions. Do you understand? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I feel like he has something to offer you in a way of intelligence versus emotion. Okay? Do you do this work? Do you do readings?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more of an intelligence. He's got something he wants to share with you on more of an intelligence base than an emotional one. Okay, so I would almost, Brittany, I'd almost ask him to visit me in my dream and share what knowledge he wants to share with you, because there is something that he wants to share with you. And I don't know if it's it almost feels like a life direction thing. It's like, you can make a certain direction and it could cause, how it causes things, cause and effect, course of things. But it almost feels like either direction that you take, it's going to cause cause and effect for a lot of people. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you worried about the people that it's going to affect? Is that what this is about? Because that's what it feels like. And it feels like that he had that same kind of path. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it's like he had a decision he had to make that affected a lot of people. And this may have a lot to do with the way that you feel about moving on and making that decision. So there's something in that personal that he wants to share with you. Okay? So I would definitely ask him to visit in your names, so that you can connect with him, because I feel like you have a strong connection with doing this work. So I think you could make the connection. I just don't know. I don't know that you thought about calling on him. You know what I mean? And I think I feel strongly that he's urging you to call on him, because he's got something he wants to share, but it's almost like a life direction thing. It's almost like a permission kind of thing, like a permission to move forward kind of thing. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. He said, I asked him to leave me with something, and what he's showing me is a little tea kettle, is what he's showing me. It's like a little tea kettle, and it's like it's steaming through, and it's blowing steam through it. And that could be very symbolic, because the time is now kind of thing. Usually when I see a tea kettle blowing like that, it's usually symbolic for me to mean, tea's ready, it's time to do it, let's do this. So that's what he's leaving me with.
I'm definitely going to do what you said.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris.
Chris? Did we lose Chris?
Walked away from it.
Chris.
I don't see you on the screen.
And she said she'd be right back.
Okay.
There she is.
Hi there.
Hello. We don't want no dead air.
or I had to scoot away quick, and so I don't know. Done. I just I heard nothing, and I'm like, Are you done or no?
We are done. Yes.
Okay. If I was in trouble, because if I would have coughed, I would have, had a big problem, and I had to skip to the room. And so I was trying to hold it, and then it was like, no, I can't. So it's not healthy to hold it. It's not healthy to hold it. So okay,
no, it's not.
Thank you so much for staying late. You guys can catch up with Alea on her Facebook page, Medium Alea Dawn, or at the KERA Center. Please do join up and check out what they all got going on over there. And so it's good to have you back. Hopefully we can get back in the routine, and and it'll be awesome. And then don't forget to talk to your people about I will. One night if there's something KERA Center night.
That'd be fun. I would love that.
Yeah.
May I thank
I'll
Alea?
definitely. We'll get up with you. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Alea.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You
I
too,
didn't know if you were done, and you were just like, where's Chris or what? So I'm sorry.
Hey, Chris, can I pass on another website really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so for those of you who do this kind of work and you're looking to get, yourself into some directories or anything like that, I have started a new directory, and it's free. You can do a free listing or you can do an upgrade listing, either one. But if you want to get a free listing, please check out premiumpsychicdirectory.com. It's www.premiumpsychicdirectory.com. I'm starting a directory of people that I know and trust, and that I can share with the community, people who like to do readings professionally, or things like that. So if you're interested in, spreading your name out a little bit and getting some advertising, we are launching that site on Valentine's Day.
Awesome. Good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So don't be a stranger, and if
I won't.
And I'll see you next month, yes?
Yes, most definitely.
Awesome. Okay, Alea Dawn,
Thank
you so much.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, you too. Y'all have a good night. Okay. Okay, kids, so are we doing overtime or what? I'm leaving it up to you.
I'm here.
All right. Yes, you are. Just you and me, kid.
Thank you.
Oh, and there's
Okay,
Brittany. Dan, come on, Dan. Come on, Dan. Dan, the man. So, what's been going on? Your hip's still a problem, hey?
Yeah, it's my knee, and it's really, really, really bad. I couldn't even go to my granddaughter's stew babysit farm tonight. I was going to go and visit her, and she's so dang cute. She's talking, you wouldn't believe. She's not even 2, and she just yap, 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 yap. She goes, I love you, Grandma.
Aw. That's sweet.
Yeah, she's a hoot.
Well, at least the good news in that, see, there's a silver lining in every bad thing, and so is that we got you here tonight. Otherwise, you'd be baby.
Yeah.
That's our good. That's our good. Not so good for you. So you need to get a new knee.
Yeah. It's the knee replacement has loosened. What they do, you get sick when you tell this, so I better not tell it. But anyway, the two pieces are kind of like floating, and they don't meet up front to back, and they don't meet up side to side. So it could just shift and go any time. So I have to keep the leg really stiff and kind of brace it with the other one. And
can they give you a knee brace?
They don't really stay up. You know what I mean? I tried one, but I'm so short that everything doesn't fit right. And because I'm 4'11", and so that's
Jesus. How did you get to be that?
I don't know. I was 5 foot.
Wow.
But yeah. So I don't know. It's and I don't understand unless it's bone pain, because
you qualify as little person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they always call me, Little Mary. That's Little Mary, Little Mary.
Oh. Big Mary. We'll call you Big Mary. Big Mary. Big Mary. So Mary Tyler Moore died.
Yeah, that's sad. I liked her.
They had a special on, I don't know, one of them, Dateline or whatever, one of those news magazines. It was good. It recapped her whole career. It was really well put together. And they did a show, I guess, that brought all of them, like Cloris Leachman, Rhoda, all of the ones that, Betty White, all of the ones that were, and they still, they made it through that and still care so much for each other and get along and all that, which is a miracle. A bunch of women hanging out that long.
She had a rough childhood too. Both her parents were.
So it was good. I missed the news that she died. I don't know when she died. Must have been recent.
I think it was, maybe, I could be wrong. It was a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally missed that. Trying not to watch the freaking news,
Yeah, they even broke in on the television.
I haven't watched it.
Wow, really, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how I found out. They came in with the special report thing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You made it when, hey?
Yeah, exactly. And then my husband said, I didn't know him. Sorry.
No,
it's okay. I suppose someone put up that she was in grave danger, she was in the hospital in grave condition. And a few hours later, it said that she had died.
Well, that Rob Reiner or whatever, he said that he had seen her, or Carl Reiner, I'm sorry, had seen her in 13, I think. And he said he was within inches of her face, and she didn't know who he was until he talked. So she had been blind since 13.
Yeah, she had diabetes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Way back in the day, he was a little bit of a father figure for her. And then they talked to the guy from, who was the guy?
Dick Van Dyke?
Dick Van Dyke. He didn't like that they picked her to do that show with him at first. He didn't like that because she didn't have any experience in comedy and all that. And then he was quick to change his mind because she did such a great job. So, okay, Dan, hurry back. And
yeah, and she could only wear pants in one scene because they didn't wear pants back then. Women didn't.
Well, she's the one and she said about that she wanted to depict, cause so up until that time, all these housewives were all vacuuming in high heels and socks, right?
Yeah.
That's just not real, and
not in my neighborhood.
She did that. She was a remarkable woman, all in all. Just not even just as an actress, she was very, very much into animal protection, and saving animals, and so she had like PETA and everybody like that endorsed her. You know what I mean? Like all of them there. So she did a lot of that later on in her life, which I didn't know that part. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
But that's too bad. It is what it is.
Did you see the Mr. Clean commercial, the new one? Oh my God. I almost puked. They've got Mr. Clean in a video, and he's cleaning this woman's house, and the woman's watching him, and it's real sexy. He's washing the window and dusting and doing his little jig back, and it was yucky.
Dan, I don't know which one of you is the real Dan, so you'll have to unmute yourself. There you go. I'll hang up on the other Dan.
Okay. He won't like it much, but you go ahead and hang up on him.
That's shit for him.
Hey, Dan.
How's that? What's going on, man?
Oh, busy day, running around. Went out and got a used smoker because somebody came on the show with homemade bacon.
Bacon, a man's best friend.
Me too. And then so he had, and the wife says, "Well, you can't have a new one. Look at the price of them." So, go get a used one, okay?
No, I'm gonna pay for a new one.
Did you get on a really good deal on it?
Yeah, it's Craigslist. $100. It's like a $400 to $500 smoker. The guy bought himself a new $8,000 fancy pellet-fed smoker grill thing, and he didn't want this one anymore. Wanted it out of the garage. It's $100. Yours. And went, okay.
Dang.
So, yeah.
You just picked it up today.
Picked it up last night. Haven't even cleaned it or done anything to it. It needs to be cleaned, but.
Yeah, of course. You can't be eating off someone else's pig.
Well, I'm more worried about the salmon that he smoked in it last, that flavor getting into everything else.
Ooh, yuck.
Fish on there, yuck. That'll be nice. Oh man, smoked salmon is awesome too.
I can't eat it.
Smoked salmon.
I could do a pulled pork.
You know how to do that right, eh? Better learn, mister.
Oh, me? Yeah, I've smoked salmon. I've had Little Chiefs for several years. When I used to fish, all three would be going on the weekend. So.
But did you make your own bacon before is my question.
No, because the Little Chiefs don't get hot enough to do the bacon. You keep it in.
You have to make sure you do that right.
Yep.
We'll be fucking that. I'm recording. Thank you, listeners. Back